guys, Legomnews here, and welcome back to another showcase video to celebrate today's launch of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which, by the time of the recording of this video, I already saw the movie. I saw it yesterday. I saw it with one of my friends, and it was incredible. I loved the movie. I do have some issues with it, but just to let you know, guys, the showcase segments, like me showcasing Doctor Strange and Wanda here, were actually shot a week ago because I was out of town and I really couldn't make videos and I really couldn't edit things, so those segments are old. I'm just reshooting something so that I could basically at least make the showcase a bit better. And before the showcase starts, and while I was watching the movie, I realized I was focusing on Doctor Strange's and Wanda suits, and believe me, they are really inaccurate. So I'm sorry I made these figures inaccurate. So I was in a rush, and later after I finish school, I will repaint the inaccuracies on these figures. I'll repaint the inaccuracies, and I'll repaint basically things that are very inaccurate during summer, along with a few other figures I'll be making. So, yeah, guys, that's just one massive disclaimer, and I hope you enjoy the video because these figures have been figures I've been working on for about a month. So, yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy. All right, let's get started. Oh, Doctor Strange himself. So I knew right when I was about to make Doctor Strange, I knew from the start this was going to be a really challenging figure. And I actually had a hard time where I was going to start with this figure because I didn't want to mess up the torso or legs. I didn't want to mess up the figure itself. I didn't want to mess up the main body itself. So I literally spent 3 weeks working on this figure on and off right next to Scarlet Witch. But I feel like that those 3 weeks were 100% worth it to pretend with the figure I have right here. So anyway, let's start. So the head is pretty straightforward. The hairpiece is just the same molded hair. It's the same mold hairpiece, the same hairpiece mold that I used on Doc Ock, which is basically painted in dark brown and painted the dark gray highlights around there. Painted the gray highlights. Sanded some on the top here. Now the face is actually a pretty interesting story because the face here is actually the second version. The first version, which I won't show because it looks so bad. I tried copying Lego's design, which did not look that great, so I basically just took a Lego Spider-Man Homecoming thug face, used the back of it, and basically used the alternate facial expression, repainted the eyebrows, painted the beard, painted a gash of blood, painted these eye marks, and I did add some gray highlights to the beard, and I did paint it in a dark brown color, which looks better than Lego's design, if you ask me. I think someone, when I first showed this figure, someone did say that this face looks better than Lego's, and I can fully agree with him on that. I can fully agree with him. So, removing the head right now without messing it up. The color here, the color and cloak of levitation are two separate pieces. The color here is just a standard cardstock piece I basically cut out and painted in a matte red color, and you can see marks of the hairpiece there. And the cloak and the color doesn't have any painted detail on, does not, but the cape itself or cloak does have painted detail, which I actually did not have fun painting this. And just painted some dark red highlights around, painted some dark red detail here. Added some normal red dots here, just represent the checker design on the cape, which the checker design is not in the cape because I knew that would take forever for me to make. These little clamps here are just standard cardstock pieces that I basically cut out and glued, as you can see, and painted them in gold, which matches the clamps on Doctor Strange's cloak perfectly. Now, if I just put back the head on so that Doctor Strange doesn't stay decapitated for the rest of this video, or at least for the rest of this segment, the accessory here is just a standard orange disc piece connected by this pole character piece. Now, this figure is inspired by Lego's design. Mainly the torso. The torso was actually mainly inspired by Lego's design. The eye of Agamotto here was sculpted, but I did not glue it on. I basically added some sticky tack to hold it in place. And I did paint the detail on the eye of Agamotto. I actually had a hard time painting that detail because it's just so small for me to paint on something like that. Like, the main design here was originally going to be a 3D piece. I decided to paint it, which actually looks better. And just added some dark and light blue highlights here. The main color for Doctor Strange is my own custom navy blue color, which works perfectly for this figure. The belt here and the strap is comprised of many different 3D pieces. Like, this little piece here is a 3D piece. This strap here is a 3D piece. The entire belt is a 3D piece, and that little sling ring there is a 3D piece. Painted all that in brown and painted my own custom detail on there, which looks pretty clean. The arms are pretty straightforward, just simple painted dark blue arms, and then just like add some dark blue, like some light blue highlights. Now the gauntlets were actually not fun for me to paint because I was thinking about like using like 3D pieces to make like the straps on Doctor Strange's gauntlets, but I decided not to and just paint all that detail on. And I did use the Doctor Strange Fortnite skin for reference for this figure, which actually helped a lot, as you can see. Painted that on. Now, the skirt here, and I just remove this, and in fact, before we go move on to the skirt, like the back, was basically copied by Lego's design and just did the same process for the belt here as I did for here. And in fact, these belt pieces are actually connected to the torso, which means if I remove the torso, these strap pieces will come with it, as you can see. So just removing torso, I hope I didn't break anything. The skirt was not fun. I actually don't have fun making Lego skirts for figures. I actually don't have fun with it because I just find it so insanely hard for me to make. Now the shape is a little bit odd and wonky, but I'm totally fine with that. Paint all that detail on. Paint it in the same dark blue color I did. That's the figure. Painted some navy blue highlights. Painted some light blue highlights, some red highlights, and I did use a bit of cobalt blue for the back here as well. Now, removing the skirt piece, the legs are not sanded, but do have some minimalistic painted boot detail. I can just remove here. The boots do have detail all painted all around all four sides of the minifigure's legs, as you can see. And I recently finished up this detail. Last night, I recently finished up the detail on these boots. And overall, that's pretty much going to be it for Doctor Strange. And this is actually a figure I have been wanting to make for so long now. If I could put the figure on, okay, let's just jump cut. And there you go. That's Doctor Strange, and that's the power of editing right there. I basically just jump cut. I was like struggling to put back the figure like just a while ago. So yeah. So overall, that's pretty much gonna be for Doctor Strange. I would say Doctor Strange is actually my cleanest figure with paintwork and 3D pieces to date, and he turned out exactly how I wanted him to be. Now, Wanda Maximoff the Scarlet Witch, good lord, dude, this figure was by far the most tedious figure I've ever made. And somebody might say, oh, it looks pretty straightforward if you ask me. No, I went through madness making this figure, and I'm not kidding. And I actually mean when I say that. No, and also no pun intended. No pun intended there. Like, Scarlet Witch, just the suit was like so complex for me to think about and figure out how I was going to do it. And the thing is, I've been wanting to make this figure ever since the ending of WandaVision. And after like waiting more than a year to make this figure, I'm so glad it turned out the way I wanted to. So starting off with the head, like the tiara or crown or something or whatever it is. This is actually the second design, because the first design, right when I was drawing it, it broke off when I was like when I was removing it from the head, and I wanted to cry when that happened because I was so triggered because it actually broke. And then I waited until like maybe like 2 weeks later to resculpt this, and like right when I finished drawing, I basically applied like 4 layers of glue and 5 layers of paint. And I'm not kidding when I mean that. It's that these horns do not break off, not even like the center of it. So if I can just gently remove the hairpiece. The hairpiece is just, you have seen this hairpiece many times before in many different figures. It's basically sculpted, painted in maroon red, and painted some light red highlights around it for the detail. The head, the main head here is just a Black Widow head from the Avengers sets, and I basically just painted the eyes in red just to get that menacing look of Wanda. And she does have an alternate face expression, which if I just put the hairpiece on, you know, she's a little bit more calm and chill, and looks like she thinks she hasn't lost her kid, except she has. That was pretty dark right there. But just removing the hairpiece and just switching the head, the torso was actually kind of hard for me to do because I actually had so much trouble cutting out this piece right here and trying to get it centered in place or paint it, and basically painted that in a light red. But the main color for Wanda is actually a maroon red, and I basically added like a little texture pattern around there. And I did get inspiration from Lego's design, as you can see, and I did get inspiration from other customizers' Scarlet Witch figures. The arms are just like don't have any detail at all, except they do. Like, what I mean by that is like Wanda's arms are kind of like black, like have like some black mesh on it, and I basically just like took a bit of black, like smushed it, like basically moved it around the arm and basically applied maroon red, then did that multiple times on both arms to get that weird mesh looking pattern on there. The back is kind of like this for one main reason, is that when I put the hairpiece on, the paint won't rub off. So like that, and that works. Like I basically just, and plus I don't even like what's like the full on back of Scarlet Witch. I don't even know like the full back of it. So that's why it's like that. And yeah. Now the skirt here, like, oh my god, and like I said with Doctor Strange, I don't have fun making skirts pieces for figures. I don't have fun. So I originally made this skirt piece for Dr. Robotnik, but I decided not to use that for him and just make a custom jacket. And I basically cut out this piece here, as you can see, and this here was actually like my 5th attempt on making like these weird drape pieces that go over Wanda's hip, and I actually had a hard time doing that and gluing it in place. Like I literally had to wait like an hour for them like to stay in place. I'm just removing now, just like just showing the detail on there. Pretty straightforward. The legs are mainly just a bunch of paint work, as you can see. All 4 sides of the minifigure's legs are painted, as you can see. Sorry, lighting issues. And I recently finished the legs last night. And I recently finished up the legs last night, and they look pretty clean. If you ask me, they look pretty clean. And as you can see, some dark red highlights, some gray highlights around the legs, and as you can see there. The back of the legs don't have any detail because it's mainly covered by the skirt. So overall, guys, that is pretty much going to be it for the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness figures. I spent like more than a month making these figures, and I'm so proud on how they turned out. And now it's time to wrap this video, and I do have some terrible news at the ending of this video, which I'll get into right now. So yeah, I'll tell you, and it's not that great for me. So yeah. Anyways, guys, it's time to wrap up this video. Alright, guys, that's going to be it for my Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness showcase. I'm terribly sorry that these figures were so inaccurate, and like I said in the intro segment, this is just a reshoot, and I will repaint the detail on these figures. I'll get it to look a lot more accurate, and with Hot Toys revealing their Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness figures soon, I'll be able to get enough reference to make them properly. At least repaint some things. So I hope you enjoyed the showcase video. And Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness was actually way better than the first Doctor Strange. My friend still prefers No Way Home, and I can agree on that. Like, I think there were like some issues I had with the movie. I won't say which ones, but I do have some few nitpicks and a few issues with the movie in itself. But I won't make a review. That's just I may talk about them in my spin-off showcases, but I don't know. But overall, guys, that is going to be it for the showcase video. I hope you all enjoyed. And this is Legomnews signing out. Take care, everyone.